We're on the home stretch, but Dave won't be able to win unless we give him one more important ability, and we need to modify the world a little bit more. First, let's go to level 5 and check out our problem. Gotta build first. So Dave needs to be able to climb things like this tree. In the last level, Dave can only reach the exit door by climbing a room full of stars. We need to add the climbing to our chain of game variables that both read the keyboard and trigger Dave's response. I'll also set a variable called isClimb that will act like our onGround variable. CanClimb is true if Dave is standing in front of a tree or stars. We want CanClimb to also trigger the onGround flag because Dave needs to be able to jump off the object he's climbing. Now we'll also check the tile under Dave for the ability to climb. The tree is tiles 33 through 35 and the stars are 41. Now if Dave can't climb, we need to reset the flags. We also need to turn off gravity while Dave is climbing. Let's verify the input for the climbing action. Remember that pushing up makes Dave attempt to jump. We'll use that same trigger, but we need to distinguish the actions. Dave shouldn't try to jump if he's actively climbing. If he can climb, then we'll activate the up motion and the climb flag. Now we should also allow down for both jetpack or climbing. Let's fix this syntax error. Forgot an underscore. Now we'll change Dave's drawing to include the climbing sprite. Now Dave's drawing code looks like spaghetti. If I weren't about to wrap this project up, I'd probably redo a lot of this. Dave can now climb. We take a seg fault if we try to leave the top of the screen. Why is that? Let's try some bounds checking. Under isClear, we'll automatically assume the space is clear if we're outside the room. Now here's another subtle change. Let's make Dave's position variable signed rather than unsigned. That way negative values have meaning. But how do you think that'll break the game? Now there's one more change. The world needs to wrap when Dave falls through the bottom of the level. Let's put Dave off the top of the world if he goes through the floor. Test. Looks like Dave can now jump off the top of the world. Let's try to walk on top of the level. Looks just like the original game. And we make it to level 6. Let's get Dave earning extra lives every 20,000 points. We'll create an add score function that checks if we cross the threshold every time we earn points. Simple algorithm, we'll compare the old score with the new score, and if they don't match when we divide by 20,000, then we must have crossed the boundary. Now we'll go back through the code and use our new function in place of all other score additions. In fact, let's add 2,000 points for completing a level. And I believe killing monsters also earns Dave 300 points. And we still need to test that level wrapping, so let's jump to level 8. Looks like it works. It's now officially possible for Dave to complete the game. Another thing bothering me is that monsters are awfully slow. Let's make that so they move twice per tick instead of once. I should probably break this into a separate function and call it twice, but this is probably one of the last updates I'll be making. Also, let's tweak Dave's jumping a bit to give him more of a glide. Now there's one more big addition to really make this a game. We need to add all those monsters from levels 5 through 10. I've already worked out the details, so I'm going to knock this out quickly, just like I did with the UI. Let me set all the monsters to an initial value in the loop at the top so we can shore up these cases down here. Now we'll place all the monsters for the last 5 levels. Let's reset Dave to level 0 and do a final playthrough. Let's see how far I can get without dying. Usually that means level 4 or 5. Alright, moment of truth. Oh, got me on the 3rd time through. I'm about to cross 20,000 points. Let's see if I get that 3rd life back. There it is. And there it went. Oh, I'm not doing so well. I probably should have added a timer for these trigger-happy enemies. I'll just take the easy way out. Ah, well, that's about par for the course for me. So that's Dangerous Dave. There's a couple of features that we skipped that would really make this a complete game. Sound is one. We could have worked in some level transitions. Then there's the high scores, the main menu, and the victory screen. Now, other than those, this project is pretty close to the original game, and it only took a few hours. Thanks a lot to Levellass and Malvinius for reverse engineering the original binary. And of course, thanks to John Romero for making this classic game. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you learned something, be sure to pass along what you know.